Hi, welcome again to Brewing 3D. It's been quite a while now since I posted anything here on YouTube, but I've been quite busy to finalize the thing you see in front of you. I know I've teased some of you that I should make a full video of explaining how to put together this beer can labeling 3D printed machine in version 2 it is right now. So all of the things that you see in front of you is quite a lot of parts. Everything is available on printables as of now. I will probably post it on Thingiverse as well. On there you will find all the different STLs and all the parts we will look at today, including a PDF that I have in front of me right here, where you can see some explanation to all the different parts, how many pieces you need to print, what material and so forth, the hardware need. So just really recommend to, if you're going for this, print this one out as well and have it in front of you. Great. But let's start. I will take a short tour and just a quick look of the different parts we have, just so you see it from a different angle. So starting here a little bit from the right, I prepared here just some epoxy. I will come back to that. The main labeler body with the insert, TPU rollers, adjustment knob, roll holder over here, 2 optional pieces in order to see where you have your labels at, some additional hardware needed, 8 ball bearings, skateboard type, 608 ZZ bearings, 2 heat inserts, 2 hex nut head bolts, an M8 hex nut, and some M8 threads. 3 pieces, 127 millimeters, 1 200 millimeters. Then we have some clamp parts to attach it to the table, and some roll holder parts as well, more parts to that, and I will come to that. You also see I have the heat insert soldering iron here, and some roll holders there to the left, and some cans in the end for us to test. But I will come back to that. So, if we start assembly, I will start with these clamp parts and the threaded inserts. They just go in one way, but there are small markings or small arrows to show which way they go in. And you just slide these in like that. Take one of the screws and just thread that in. So we'll do the same with both these parts. Okay. Once we have that, there's also a small table guide here that slides onto these like that. And then you can actually put this on the edge of a table, because this will be the thing holding everything else on the table. You just attach that. Right. Next part is really the main labeler body. I think I'll put it like that. So we'll need 2 of the hardware pieces, 2 of the M8 rods, and they slide down in small holes that we have there. Next, we'll have the 2, let's say, TPU rollers. There are actually 3 used. The 3 are all the same, but 2 are used for the main labeler body. And for this one, we need 2 ball bearings each. They slide in to the edge and kind of get stuck there, so there is no need to put glue on these. Then you just slide it over. I will put in the other bearings as well, the other one. Nice, we're almost there. Then it's the label insert guide. The one I have here is 90 millimeters, and that is because the labels I will use later are, the backing paper are exactly 90 millimeters. So then I have an insert for that. So this labeler can take, this version can take labels from 50 millimeter wide up to 111.4. That's the maximum width of this one. And you can, or I can produce an insert that will fit exactly to the label that you use, which is really nice. because it gets super tight control over the label and everything gets dead straight every time. So in my case, I will put this one on. But of course, first we need to, you see that there are two slots for bolts here. And there are two corresponding holes in here. And so far, we don't have any, let's say, threaded inserts in yet, but I will do that. So then I'll start the soldering iron I have here to the left. It's actually a Dremel workstation with a soldering iron from Amazon, and then I 3D printed and designed the holder for it. So you get this really nice threaded insert action. And I heat it up to 300 degrees. That's plenty enough for PLA. And it gets there really, really fast. Then we take the heated insert, put it on the tip of the soldering gun, wait a few seconds, and then start applying some pressure. Not much. That was one. The next one I will turn this camera a little bit so you see a little bit better. There. Then we take the other insert, put that on, down, wait a few seconds for it to heat up, and press gently until it sits. There we have it. Nice. Great. Then we'll let the plastic and the inserts cool a little bit, and if you need, you can trim off some of the excess plastic. Nice. There we have it. Okay. Next step then is really to put this 90mm insert, and as I said, it can be any backing paper width from 50 to 111.4. I will actually post an extended version of this that is 30mm longer. It will take anywhere from 50 up to 141.4. But if you don't need wider labels, I think the smaller one is the way to go. Time to put the bolts in. 2 of them. And of course, once you printed the main labeler body, you can print new inserts, different widths, and and change them really easily just with the 2 bolts, right? And then as you can see, this main labeler body fits in the slots here, so it will keep it in the same place that you need later on. Next step, if we go forward, so these 2 pieces are optional. You can skip to have these installed and just put the roll holder directly on like this. It fits like that as well. You can also put this one in, and that will help you to see. You can set this guide where the label ends exactly when it's time to pull the next label. Just a visual aid. But we can keep it on there for the time being. Next step then is to put on the roll holder body itself, and then we'll put on the piece that holds the roll in place and feeds it into there. Next step now is really to glue in 3 different parts. 2 of the ball bearings that should be glued into this piece. So I will just add some slight amount of epoxy on the edges and insert the ball bearings. And I will also take this M8 hex nut and the same thing, apply some epoxy there in the bottom on the edges and just drop the nut in. Right, so let's do that a little bit quickly. I have some epoxy prepared here on the side. Just mix the two together. Okay, let's start. So I just take a very small amount on a wooden stick and apply some to the inside here. When I've done that, just gently push it in and it will start setting. Do the same thing on the other side. Next one. Don't take too much because we don't want it to overflow and get into the bearings themselves. The last part was really to glue in this nut. Same thing there, small amount of epoxy on the top. And put it in just on the edges so that the nut would be caught in there. Right. Then a trick I do is just to take one of the threaded rods, put on very slightly and just unscrew it. There we have it. Nice. So that was all of the epoxy part. Next thing is to assemble the all the holders here for the roll. So we take these two parts first. We thread this one in. Then we take this 200mm threaded rod, and it now goes through this, through the bearings. And here we have one of the stoppers. Put that on the side here. It's also threaded, so the M8 rod will thread into that stopper. The next thing is really to put one on one of the core paper holders, and it fits here inside a slot like that. Then we'll take the paper roll, and as you can see there are some hooks here, so it gets should be on the other side. It slides over just like that. Then we have the paper roll on. Then we put on the next holder for this one, and there is also a clamp nut that will go in and secure this one. I put it on a flat surface. As you can see, I tighten the nut, and then everything is nice together like that. Okay, final thing is really to take our, let's say, epoxy glued hex nut holder that we had, and then we'll just put it over like that, and then it is installed on the roll holder. The nice thing with this one is that because we have two bearings now with, how do you call it, the sideways tension. And when you put sideways tension on a bearing, you get friction. Or you get more friction, I would say. You don't get a lot, but a little bit. So if you tighten this, you see that it provides some resistance. If I loosen it up, it gets more, let's say, it rolls more easily. And this is great because then we can control the back force on the paper when we start pulling here. So it's always good to have a little bit of back force, so you can tighten this one a little bit, right? Next step would be, and I think you need to see on the smaller camera here, to take the paper and just feed it into the slot of the main labeler body. And you pull it up until the next one comes. I think the first label, or you need to have some loose backing paper to start with, and you feed it down again into the next slot, and then it comes out here at the end. And this is where you pull for each label. You pull here and the label will automatically go on the can. Okay, But before that, we will take the third TPU roller, add the ball bearings in the end, and the final 127mm M8 rod. And we will slide that in like that, and it will now, we tension this one a little bit, it will now provide a nice path for the label to go all the way. And here we have the small guide that you can insert. And now I see that this is exactly where my label starts. Then I can just slide this one so that I can visually see that it's in between two labels. And it gives me some aid in knowing when to stop pulling and stuff like that. It's really good. Final piece we have is the adjustment knob for the beer can itself. So it just threads in like this. And if I then take a beer can, put it on the rollers, then I can easily eyeball exactly where I want the label to be applied. And I want it to be exactly in the middle of the two ridges here on the can. There, I think it's good for me. Now when we have everything set up like this, tensioned, I have everything done, it's ready to go. And the way to apply a label then is really, now I don't have so much backing paper, but I will try anyhow. Just start pulling a little bit, the label starts separating, and you just start pulling down. And there you have it. Really nice labeled can. And how it works is that when the paper goes down, the paper also pulls on the rollers, so the rollers help to spin the can very nicely, so there won't be any, how do you say, crevices in the paper or any bubbles or anything like that. So it really comes out just super nice. Okay, what more to say? I think that's all to say about it. It's quite a lot of parts to print, but don't be afraid, it's quite a fun project. You just need to take care of what is written in the PDF and just print it in the right material and right amount, and you can just put it together just like I did. Nothing to it really, and it works wonderful. I've printed hundreds and hundreds of cans, or labeled hundreds and hundreds of cans with this. I just labeled 300 or 400 cans for a wedding recently, so it was very nice to have this thing. And as I said, I will publish this also in a wider variant. I will put the link. The link to this, where you find the STLs, will be in the description for this video. So I really hope you like it. It's been a lot of work, but it's finally ready and it's free and available for you to use. So with that, I wish you a continued great day and see you soon again. Bye bye.